Welcome to In the Trenches, our bowl edition, Michigan's 41-7 victory over Florida. And we're actually going to break down both the offense and the defense in this game, two different films. First, starting with the offense and some early success running by Davion Smith. Here we are, Doug, at 8:03 of the first quarter.
Well, you got to love the formation, double tight ends, power set with fullback and tailback here, the one slot or one receiver to the far side of the field. This play is the mirror play of the first play of the game, except it's run the opposite direction. That in both cases, the back sees a whole backside instead of front side and cuts it back here for a nice gain. It's pretty simple blocking. It's down blocked on the front side. The fullback is going to catch the front side linebacker, which he does. A.J. Williams kind of loses a defensive end here on this play, which causes the running back to see the backside hole. But because the backside hole is blocked well, there's a big old gash here for the offensive runner here, Smith, to get some huge yardage. And what's awesome about this play is the downfield attitude blocking with Jake Butt finishing people onto their back and really pile driving people into the ground.
Doug, about 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Michigan's had a really nice first opening drive, and they finish it off with a little touchdown run here by Drake Johnson.
Well, it's sweep left, and the offensive linemen have got to get flat, get left as fast as they can. And fortunately, the front side guard here, Braden, hangs on just long enough. He almost lost it there. He ends up on roller skates there because of the tough angle he's got. But Mason Cole is the one who really makes this play go, and Joe Carriage out here on the edge. And if you watch Jake Butt closely from the end zone, Cam, he does a nice job out of his stance here and gets up to this block. But you know the old cliche, when as an offensive lineman, it ain't holding if you don't get caught. Jake Butt held that guy severely there, but doesn't get caught, and that's another reason why this ball gets in the end zone.
Doug, 12:10 to go early in the second quarter, and not every play that we diagnose week to week is a positive play for Michigan. This is not a good one because an offensive lineman gets blown up here by Michigan.
The old fundamentals of offensive line play never have changed and never will. You've got to play lower than the guy across from you. And so now here we see Kyle Kalis, who's playing opposite a really good defensive lineman who's going to go play three technique in the NFL, no doubt in my mind. Takes a short step, and he kills himself here when he comes out of his stance too high. And then you combine that with a back foot that never seems to move, and that defensive lineman is up in that A-gap before Kalis could do anything. So he takes a poor first step, he's too high, he doesn't bring his back foot. It equals disaster for this football play, and the guy crosses his face and he just makes a tackle for loss. He had no chance there. Now, Kyle's better than this. He's got to take that flat step, get his eyeballs down to that near number to get some leverage, to get some push. If he does that, we at least get positive yardage on this play. But instead, you know, we kind of look like we're a young offensive lineman here instead of a veteran offensive lineman.
Doug, still on this second offensive drive for Michigan, 8:54 to go in the second quarter, and J.U. Chessa makes a nice little double move and just takes Vernon Hargreaves right out of his jock here. Just an incredible combination that developed between Jake Rudock and J.U. Chessa on this season.
Well, you know, in the beginning of the year, we talked about week after week, it seemed like they could never connect, but as Rudock improved, Justin improved, Darbo improved, Jake Butt improved, all of a sudden these plays started happening, and here's another example of it. You got to give credit to the offensive linemen up front, including Kyle Kalis, who's playing against that really good free technique there from Florida. The pocket is outstanding. There was no play action here either. Michigan wasn't trying to show any fake run stuff here. This is just straight up pass pro. There's an incredibly quick little move put on the D-back who takes that bait and swallows it hook, line, and sinker, and it's an easy touchdown.
Doug just said before we started, an awesome blocked play at 5:10 to go in the second quarter. Doug, take us through it.
Well, it's power football here. It's fast, and what's awesome about this play, talk about having a veteran center. When you see Florida come back here in the backside A-gap, Glasgow sees this. He knows that nose tackle has to work opposite of the blitz. They're not going to put two guys in the same gap. So when this linebacker hits the backside A-gap, Glasgow comes over and puts his nose right in his heart and stops him cold. He knows his left guard is coming down to pick up that nose guard, who's going to slant away to the front side A-gap. And then the rest of it's just load left. You got Poggi and Huma coming up in here, absolutely destroying people. Huma especially paced the front side linebacker onto his back into the ground. Cole has a nice block front side. You can't draw this up and execute it any better than what Michigan just did right there.
Doug, 3:54 to go in the second quarter, and a NFL throw from Jake Rudock, about a 25-yard out to Grant Perry. That all starts up front with some good pass protection.
Well, you got to give credit up front here to this offensive line, who struggled a little bit. Kalis, especially against Indiana and Ohio State, with some twists that gave us some problems and got some pressure on the quarterback. Here you'll see a defensive end, defensive tackle twist at the bottom of the screen. The three technique is going to loop outside. The defensive end loops behind. Kalis and Magnuson pass that off perfectly. It's exactly how you're supposed to do it. Cole's got the backside secure. Huma steps up as the security blanket. There's not really much there. It's a perfect pocket. And then you watch the quarterback deliver a strike here, perfectly thrown over the defender, catchable ball, well executed. I don't know what more can you do here?
Doug, we get to the second half, and this is a negative play for Michigan, 13:55 to go. And three guys tried to block number 57 here, Bullard, for Florida, and none of them blocked this guy.
It's an interesting dynamic here, and sometimes things just don't go right on certain plays. And so pre-snap, Michigan shifts its offensive tight ends from the top of the screen to the offensive right to the bottom of the screen. Number 57, before he moves at the last second, is playing on the right shoulder of Glasgow, the snap arm. But at the last second, he shifts over into a three technique, and then the chaos begins. Kalis whips, and he's on his hands and knees. Magnuson looks like he's trying to come down and do something, chip block him on the way up to a linebacker or something. Braden pulls and whiffs as well. This guy avoids three blocks and gets a tackle for loss. This snap is going on number 57's highlight reel, unfortunately. And this just happens sometimes. It's just a mess, and you draw that one up and you talk about it and you go, okay, let's not do that again.
Doug, 13:10 to go in the third quarter. The very next play after the one we just diagnosed, and this is a play where they fake to J.U. Chesson. He takes the middle linebacker and a safety and a cornerback with him, and it leaves the middle of the field wide open for Jake Butt.
Two things have to happen for this to work. Number one, the threat has to be real. In this case, Chesson is the threat. And because of his body of work over the course of the season and the plays that he's made, he's not got the full attention of the Florida defense. So when he swings out here, he's flashing his hands. Florida's noticing. The second thing that has to happen is the quarterback has to sell it with his body and eyeballs. And so he does a great job as well. Rudock looks this thing and pumps that way. The entire Florida defense is bailing over there to the offensive left. Meanwhile, the tight end delays, shows pass pro, and then sneaks up the middle, catches the ball, first down.
Doug, 5:34 to go in the third quarter, and because of Michigan's success running the football for most of this game, they suck up the safety number 20 into the box, and he's the one that they throw the ball over the top of.
When the threat is real, the defense has to respect it. And again, the formation is screaming run. The personnel package Michigan has in here is screaming run with Williams at the tight end. Blood going, shifting back to the opposite side. When you got the big fullback sitting in there with the big power back behind, any indication of run, these linebackers and safeties are going to take a step or two forward. They pull Kalis here. They're showing run. Smith steps up in there like it's some sort of dive to the left or trap to the left. Now the opportunity is there for the quarterback, Rudock, to throw it over the safety's head and hit the deep ball, which is exactly what he does. What we all looked for early in the year, but again, deep ball connections late in the season are fun to watch.
Doug, final play of the third quarter, 8 seconds left, and Florida came into this game as one of the top 10 defenses nationally in sacks and getting to the quarterback, and they just can't even come close to Jake Rudock.
Again, Michigan's offensive line has to be issued credit here for the way they pass protected in this game, and really I think all season long. I thought they did a nice job, and in this game really highlighted how much improvement they had shown in pass protection. Now, it wasn't pretty all the way, of course, through the season, but overall, I thought Michigan's offensive line really improved in this category. And when your quarterback has this kind of space and this kind of time, the confidence grows, his body language gets better, and he just feels like he can sit back there and throw darts and read a defense without anybody hitting or touching him. It just causes all kinds of confidence to just bleed out of that guy. and you can tell he's having fun out there doing it.
Well, Doug, that will finish this offensive edition of In the Trenches for the Michigan Bowl game. We are coming back with a defensive edition, and we are going to have you break down Don Brown's defense at Boston College, so a lot more from you, but a great way for the offense to finish off the season.
No doubt about it. There's a lot of good things that happen, a lot of great signs of improvement, and I think the groundwork and the expectations are certainly are boding well for the future for the Michigan offense.